Yes, when I arrived in Jamaica, it was bombastic. As I don't know if you can imagine, to I have a very straight speech, and people who listen to me will maybe recognize very fast that I'm an outspoken person. I don't like to talk around the story. I will just come to the point in a way to express that what I really feel, because to me that is very important. So um, when I arrived in Jamaica and really was fascinated from the air alone, and we met a Jamaican in the airplane, and he asked us which part we want to go. So from a white man country to go in a black man country is something so different from the mentality that a person like me who take things deep, which are deeply interested where I go, that the people was of course my priority to be interested into. So this Jamaican person say he goes out of the 14 parishes which we have in Jamaica to Portland, and it would be the best. So we get convinced and we shared a ladder taxi, and we was actually 5 people inclusive the driver, big people with a lot of suitcase from the Jamaicans. We only did have a knapsack because we was traveling for 5 weeks. Simple, and believe you me, the taxi was full up, as you can imagine, a ladder, and I did sit on his lap in the front seat beside the driver, and we went 5 hours to reach our destiny after a 13 hours flight. So when we drive through the loving, lush jungle-like country, and I see people walk on the road, and there was children walking with umbrellas in the sunshine. It was the first time I ever see that people use an umbrella into sunshine. So I did have to ask why. So they said they shield themselves from the sun. And we are people in Europe were going to take a sunbathe, and in Jamaica they hide from the sun. So these things are opposites which I get to meet. These are just little things, but bigger opposites, what are really present all the time, So when we arrived in Portland, it was amazing, and we get to a lovely guest house. And the morning we woke up, the person which brought us there sent one real Rastaman to show us around. And it was the first real Rastaman I did ever see in my life. And I was astonished. Actually, I did nearly faint. And he comes and he says he come to pick me up to show us the ocean. And we went up to an old hotel ruin, which was for years empty, but the nature take over the place. And the big trees, they grow through this big ruin and cover up everything. It was gigantic. Actually, we did feel like we are some little dwarfs in a storybook. And when I look into the ocean up on the top of the hill, it nearly licks me over. So, I really said I want to live here and I will do it now. So we went back to Germany, and 2 weeks later we came back to Jamaica, and I said, I will give up everything. I quit my job. I pack up my few little things and says, I come to Jamaica under any circumstances, under any conditions. I'm not here. Because I did have a feeling, that if I don't do it now, I might never do it. And sometimes I feel like you have to jump into the cold water to learn to swim. But when you swim, you will explore a lot of new things in life, what you would never capable of if you would avoid it. So since I really did that, and I came to Jamaica with my big suitcase and all my little belongings, I wasn't even aware that it is very difficult, to get a stay as permanent. So the first time in my life, I did meet that there are difficulties and that you can break these difficulties with some not straight things. And like I say, I'm very honest, it was hard, but I get to stay here. Over the years, it takes a long time, to really find the right spot. where we bought a lovely property in the hills. It was 4,000 square feet of land in paradise. I would call it the crown of one hill of one district, overlook the mountains on this side, and on the other side look to the sea. And in between only Jamaican people, and that was it where I said I would settle. So from early stage I learned Jamaican language because in Germany, I didn't know very good English, and this is why I hope you will understand me good too, because Jamaica is my heart, my home, my language, my expression, my everything. So it is very difficult to describe which are the differences in life between black and white, between love and hate, between life and death. It's a thing, where I always see very deeply, because in the country where I born and come from, everything is just on top. Everything is just about material things. You is not allowed to express yourself. You is not allowed to live your heart. You only need to follow instructions. So we come back to that what I did mention a little earlier, The most people, I would say the most white over-civilized people, believe everything what they can read black and white, what is proven by scientists, or which they have a formula for it. In Jamaica, our speak black people, they live their life real. They prove things by they feel them and by them experiencing them. They have the same knowledge, but a knowledge without to live it is useless. Because all these lyrics, when they read some books about wisdom and about to solve problems. Actually, yesterday I speak to a person, and she says she don't know to solve her problems. So, in my language where I origin from, in Germany, there is a word, that says, let go problem. And it's not to be translated, but the word itself includes the answer. If you have a problem and you hold on it, and you study it, and you think about it, and you worry about it, you will never really get rid of it. You have to let it go, and it will solve itself. It's easier to talk about it more than to live it. But that is real life. Everything in real life, you have to do it, And this is where I get the example that the people in Jamaica, they live at the moment. All wisdoms on this earth, the most religions, the most meditation, the most esoteric people, all what they actually want as a result is to be happy. Happiness can only be received, a full happiness in your heart, by you live it now. This is, for example, why the over-civilized people only feel the real moment in their life when they fall in love. When they fall in love, they forget everything around them. The time stops, beat and run. They don't think about what comes tomorrow or what was yesterday. They just live. And this is it, what I can do in Jamaica every day. Live real. And it sounds so simple, and it takes a lot, because to survive in a one country where you don't know the culture from birth, like my two daughters which born here, my two daughters which I love more than everything, and my two daughters which don't understand my life philosophy, which I teach them from they small, and they still don't understand, because I born in a white man country, and I find my heart to live in a black man country. So these two mentalities come to a clash, which you have to find the harmony to put it to real use for real life. And this is what I do.